So watch this space. We'll give you more details with that. So that's for July. And yes, I am very much pushing the men's agenda. On Friday, we had our manifold men's meeting, Friday morning, and we had 16 blokes there playing pool and darts and just having a chat, coffee and all that kind of stuff. So if you want to come along, Friday mornings between 10 and 12, you don't need to stay for the whole time. You can come, just have a chat, have a coffee, you can come for a bit, stay for the 2 hours. It's entirely up to you. But like I say, we had 16 blokes. It's going really well on that day. And ladies, there is a ladies' conference, okay? The first weekend of July. Don't forget that, 4th and 5th of July. That's going to be at Life Church in Bedworth. There is information out there if you would like to get your, it's called Unique, I believe. Is that right? Yeah, it's called Unique. You have to register online with that. There's a lot of ladies going already, so please get your name down for that. If you need a lift, come and speak to us. I'm sure we can sort that out. Look at that. Amazing. Thank you, tech guys. That's brilliant. Right, so where do I want to start? me and Pastor Emil haven't spoken this morning. My first verse is Exodus 20, verse 12. Okay, so that's going to come up in a bit. And that is, it's the 10 Commandments, basically. And I'm going to start in commandment number 5. Just put it up there. And it starts with, honour your father and your mother, that your days may be long upon the land in which your Lord is giving you. Okay, so we hadn't done that. Pastor Emil spoken about honour. And that's where I really want to start, is about honouring. The word honouring has kind of got a bit fudged and a bit kind of, well, what do we actually mean by honour? What does that actually mean in our society nowadays? Now, I go to the Collins Dictionary if I want to find out the word. Partly because my last name's Collins, but yeah, that's what I use, is the Collins Dictionary. And the Collins Dictionary says, amongst other things, so there's a whole load of things. So I'm just going to pull out high regard or great respect given. Okay? So honour your mother, your father, let's get it right. Honour your father and your mother. So this is, like I said, the 5th commandment. The first 4 deal with the relationship between man and God. So they're like, have no other gods before me, have the Sabbath. So these are really important commandments. This one is the first, what people say, is in relational. So between human beings, between each other. Although some people I've heard have said that maybe this could be because your father and your mother created you. And God has given us that ability to create, which makes us creators. So it's just something to think about there. But honour, yeah? Now, as Pastor also said, is that it's difficult to honour some people, isn't it? Notice it doesn't say love. We are to love our enemies. We are to love God. We are to love a whole list of things, but not to love your father and mother, but to honour them. You might say, well, you don't know my father. You don't know this, right? It'll be easy if he was a good person, okay? This was put to Jesus. Somebody called Jesus, good teacher. What did Jesus say? So in Matthew 19, this is going to be our second verse for today. Matthew 19. Go on, put it up. So Jesus has just been quoted as, referred to as good teacher. So Jesus said to him, why do you call me good? No one is good but one. That is God. But if you want to enter into life, keep the commandments. Okay, so, and you know, the Bible is full of examples of how people aren't good. You name a biblical character, and there will be a time recorded in the Bible where they have messed up. The only person who didn't mess up, who walked the earth, was Jesus. And he himself says, I'm not good. It's only the Father in heaven who is good. So where am I going with this? We should hold our father and mother in honour, okay? And it's difficult. Owen spoke 2 weeks ago about forgiving. Whole sermon about forgiveness. And the crux of it is, he was asked, how many times should I forgive? 7 times 70? No, 7 times 7, yeah? But it's 70 times 7 we should forgive. In other words, we should continually forgive and forgive. Because you know what? We all mess up. We all make mistakes, yeah? But it's honouring that we have a choice about doing, which can be difficult, It can be really difficult, and I'm not going to deny that. Now, Owen likes his little examples all the time, and I've got a little quote here in true Owen style. Right, so this is about a father and a son. I like my dad because when I was 5, he would play football. But now he can't play football because he's 30. So those of you who are around 30 and below, that's not funny to you really, is it? But us who are a little bit older, because I was expecting to read, he's got some terminal disease or so, but because he's 30, he can't play football anymore. That did make me laugh a little bit. It really did. Right, so today's sermon is 5Gs. So I've got 5G. It's not the new network on your mobile phone, because I don't think there's much difference between the 4G and the 5G, to be perfectly honest. But hey-ho, we've all had to upgrade, haven't we? And slowly they're selling us more and more expensive phones, aren't they? But we've got 5Gs from the big screen. Now, the Collins family, we sat around the table and we talked about 5 examples of fathers. So we've got 5 examples of fathers, and I'm hoping that some of you will know. Well, I'm pretty sure everybody in here will know at least one of these examples. That's what I'm getting at. Okay, hopefully everyone will know at least one. Okay, with a G to go with it. Okay, so we can put the first G up. G up, it sounds like a horse, doesn't it? Right, so governance. Governance. So these are all characteristics about a father that I think is good to have. Okay, so governance means, because it's always good to know what the word means, because so often things get distorted and changed. If you're talking about government or control or authority, so the father should have some kind of authority. Now then, the first picture. Has anyone seen this film? And I'm sorry if I get the pronunciations wrong, because my pronunciations aren't the greatest. Now, this is Moana. Yeah? Yeah, so this is Moana. And up there with Moana is not her father. Anyone knows what his name is? We had to look at... Yes, well done. Right, and so, excellent. I've got no... Oh. Yeah, round of applause. We can have a round of applause. Right, so, and the whole story, if you've not watched it, it's a really good film. It really is. So if you put the next picture up, you'll be able to see Moana's father, hopefully. Now, his name, anyone knows what Moana's father's name is? What's his dad's name? Anyone know? I had to look it up, so I can't tell that I know it. Right, it's Tui, as in spelt like the airline, Tui. But, yeah. Right, so he is the chief of their tribe, okay? So they live on you can see it's like a Hawaiian kind of island, very Hawaiian kind of vibe kind of thing. And he is very protective of not only his daughter, but his whole tribe. Yeah, he's got governance over them and he's really protective. To the point of they live on the seaside and they're not allowed to go into the open sea. Okay, they're not allowed to go into there. This is because of something that's happened in his past life that he's putting that on to everybody. I think a close friend of his kind of died in a sea accident. So nobody's allowed out into the open sea. Okay? And how many of us realise how much our past affects us? Yeah, things that have happened in our past that you might not, I know when I'm in trouble when, oh, your dad does that. Or you hear that, yeah, you're like that person, you are, yeah? You got to think, something in your past that might be affecting you. This is what was happening to him. The whole story goes along the lines of, I'm not going to do any spoilers or anything, but she goes on a bit of an adventure with Maui, and they save the world and all that kind of stuff. Basically, yeah. And do you know, there's some really good songs in that. I like Shiny. You like Shiny? Yeah, I like Shiny. You see, misspent childhood is great with Disney, really. I've got other films as well. I'm not just Disney. I've got other films as well. Right. So let's bring it down to Scripture. So in Ephesians chapter 6, verse 4. Right. And fathers, do not provoke your children to wrath, but bring them up in the training and admiration of the Lord. Okay? So that's what we are supposed, because it's quite easy to wind your kids up. No, you're not doing this, and no, you're not doing that. And sometimes you feel that you're really on their case about it. But you've got to do it in a certain kind of way. Okay? So the Bible is very clear about us as fathers not to wind our kids up. Okay? Because sometimes our kids wind us up. Every so often they do. But, yeah, we are called as fathers not to that, but to bring them up in the training of the Lord. And, yeah, you can see, so this picture is towards the end, so you can see that he did get out into the open sea, and they do this, don't they? They do this to check the sailing. Do you remember that? No? See, she's got her hand up, and she's checking to make sure it's going the right distance. Anyway, yeah, that's what that. So take control. And I've got this quote, which appears, this is from a Spider-Man film, I think. With great power comes great responsibility, okay? We procreated children. We've got a great responsibility to bring them up and to bring them up rightly. And we need to make sure that we're on the right track. Now, that right track is with the Lord. He was bringing them up, her and the tribe up rightly, but it was slightly off track, okay? That's the first G, governance. Second G, guarding. Right, so again, from the Collins Dictionary, if you guard a place, person or object, you stand near them in order to watch and protect them. Okay? How many, it's a bit of a common phrase for it now, isn't it? I'm here for you. Yeah, if someone's upset, yeah, I'm here for you, I'll be there for you. And it's a phrase that young people use, even older people, yeah, I'm there for you. But really, when you make that call, are they there? Are they? But this one, I really like this film, okay? And I'm not going to do too many spoilers because I know there is a film on at the cinema about this now as well. So this one, How to Train Your Dragon. How many of you have seen this film? Or the stories? Or how many of you really like this? Yeah? Right, so the main character is Hiccup. So he's the guy in the middle, right? So and then his black dragon at the top up in the corner, that's Toothless. So they're the main characters, and there's TV series, there's films. Like I say, there's actually a real-life film. I don't know how they train the dragons to the real-life film, but there's a real-life film about it. And so I'm not going to, but if you put the next one up, I'm going to be talking about Hiccup's father. Now, this is actually the tribe, okay? So Stoic the Vast, is that a cool name or is that a cool name? So Stoic the Vast is the one who's got the massive beard and the horns on, yeah, so that's Stoic the Vast, and that's Hiccup's dad, right? So Stoic, as in the previous one, he is the chief. Now, I'm not making this up. He's the chief of, anyone know the name of the tribe? Go on then. You forget? Anyone? He's the name. It's the hooligan tribe. Who makes this up? And it's the hooligan tribe. We won't go into the definition of hooligan, okay? We won't do that today. But it's a hooligan tribe. So he's the father of Hiccup. Anyone know what Hiccup's other names are? Hiccup's other names. Are you ready for this? It's 3 H's. And I think there's probably a reason behind this. So it's Hiccup, Horrendous, Haddock the Third. That's imagine naming your kid that. Well, I suppose if you're Stoic the Vast, you can name your kid what you like because no one's going to mess with you, are they? So the story goes, and I'm going to refer to the second film, okay? The second film. So Hiccup's mother is not on the scene in the first film, okay? We don't know, there's something that's happened, but in the second film, Hiccup comes in contact with his mother. So Stoic the Vast, being Stoic, is going out looking for her, for Hiccup, and comes across, it's Valkyra, yeah? Hiccup's mother, okay? And that goes quite well. So you're in the film and it's really happy, it's really all this, and then basically the bad guys come along and they've learned how to mind control the dragons, haven't they? So it's basically all kicking off. Hiccup's in a bit of a bad way, and so Stoic goes and helps Hiccup. I'll leave it as that because then that kind of, we'll leave it as that. So he guards Hiccup in that scenario, just in case you go and see the film. So if you can put the next verse up for me because we're going to bring it back down to. So this is 2 Thessalonians 3, verse 3. We're on. But the Lord is faithful, who will establish you and guard you from the evil one. That's quite a statement, really, isn't it? He will guard you from the evil one. Like Stoic guarded his son, Jesus, the Lord will guard us. Protect us from the dangers that are out there. The dangers that we know and the dangers that we don't know. Because there's so many subtle things that are out there that are there to mess us up. But he is one who will, as the definition says, he will stand near you and he will watch over you. I was bought there's a song called Jesus Music, okay? I really love it. So my wife bought me the CD, and on there is another song that is, you should look it up, it's really good, this Jesus Music. And on there is another song that the lines in it is, if the devil wants to get to me, he's got to go through Jesus. Now, that's an amazing picture, and he does it so well, guarding his son. Jesus, the Lord, guards us in our everyday life. So guarding. What G are we on now? We're on number 3. So if you could bring up the next one, please. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I'm talking this one, aren't I? So we look at the definition. So generous. A person who is friendly, helpful, and willing to see the good qualities in someone or something. That's a really nice kind of character, I think, generous. So when you first feel generous, you feel about people giving out money and maybe time and other things like that. But someone being friendly and helpful and always seeing the good, you know that's quite difficult at times. When people are really annoying you and really kind of, to see the good in every situation and every person. So we came up with this film. I don't know, hopefully some of you would have known it. Some of the older people might as well. Let's have a look. Beauty and the Beast. Who's not heard of Beauty and the Beast? Is it easier to say that? Hopefully everyone, because it came out in 1991, the animated film came out. Okay? And now the next picture, this is, who knows what Belle's dad's name is? Maurice. I love that name. It's great, isn't it? Maurice. So it's French, yeah? So he is, as my wife would describe him, he's sweet, yeah? He really is sweet. So he's an inventor, and he tries to do everything he can for Belle. It would appear that early on in Belle's life, her mother had passed away, and so it's just him looking after Belle and doing everything he can for her. And in the process of that, she turns out to be a lovely, sweet young lady as well. And I think without that, the story probably wouldn't have progressed with Belle seeing through the beast, what he looks like. Yeah, what he looks like. She saw what was going on inside. Okay? So his father's generosity went through to Belle, who then that spoke into the beast's life. And you know how the story goes. Just before the last petal fell, the beast was saved, and it was true love and all that kind of stuff. True happy endings, which you don't really see a great deal of nowadays, do you? But the scripture I'd want to raise with that is Isaiah. Yep, going back into the Old Testament. So Isaiah 32. But a generous man devises generous things, and by generosity he shall stand. And by standing is a real kind of example that we should do. We should stand. Above all else, we should stand. Above going through things, we should stand. Yeah? Because you know what? As anybody, you would like to know that your father, the person that you trust, is going to be there. Is going to be that solid person who's always going to be standing, always going to be like that rock that you're going to be able to go to. And that has come through that generosity. So, like I say, that example that he gave to his daughter Belle then went through and was able to save the beast. And they all lived happily ever after in the enchanted castle, and a true kind of ending for Disney. Yeah. So the next film, well, next word is what it's going to be. Gracious. Now, this might be, this is going to be an interesting one. So gracious. So Collins Dictionary defines it as merciful or compassionate, amongst other things. Right. So the film, or should I say franchise, possibly describes it better. If you put this up, please, is Star Wars. Oof. And in particular, the next one is Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker. Who has not heard of Darth Vader? Probably the biggest, baddest villain of all time. Yeah, portrayed throughout lots of different ways as a bad guy, really. He spends 3 Star Wars films trying to track Luke down, his son. And in this final sequence, he's trying to turn him from the good side, from the light side to the dark side, all those kind of classic kind of things that go on. And Luke is like, no, I'm not fighting you. I'm not going to fight you. Luke was honoring his father in that. He wasn't going to fight him. Yeah, you had the emperor trying to persuade Vader to kill him, basically. You had the emperor killing loads of Luke's friends. The resistance or the rebellion were trying to fight, but they were led into a trap. And it was all to try and get Luke to switch to the dark side, as it were. Okay? And Vader was the principal kind of thing. But Luke wasn't going to fight him. He wasn't going to do that. And Vader, although he started to fight him, he could see that once the Emperor had turned onto Luke and was going to kill him, he kind of saw the light, so to speak. Yeah? He switched, and the honor that Luke had showed to him then had changed Vader's heart, and he actually threw the Emperor off the down into the engine thing or whatever and saved Luke. And that was like the compassion, the grace. We've only been talking about it for 3 minutes. Where you been? Do you want to come and tell me what happened? No. Right, so if you look at the next verse, we've got Luke chapter 6. Therefore, be merciful, just as your Father is also merciful. So it's a bit of two, but without Luke showing that honor to his father, they would have had the big fight. One of them probably would have been killed, or the other, and it all would have gone. But it's that kind of, despite the difficulties, yeah, Luke had every reason to fight his father because he'd spent, like I say, 3 films trying to track him down and destroy him, basically, trying to get him to fit. But at the end, he takes Vader's helmet off and he's no longer, he's actually a proper person underneath all that. And he admits that, yeah, he was wrong. Vader does, yeah? He was gracious in that kind of stuff. And I would say that the only reason that would happen was because of Luke honoring his father through all those kind of things that he did. Okay? So we're on to 5G, G5. Okay? So I've kind of manipulated this one a little bit. So if you put the next slide up, a good role model. So a role model is someone you admire and try to imitate. Now, it's interesting, when you look at these things online, it shows you how often the words are used over time, and there's like peaks and troughs about how, and recently, within the last like 20, 30 years, good role model is hardly used, which I found quite sad, really, in that, actually, do you know, you can see it, that where are the good role models? Where are the things that you say, do you know what? I'm pleased that you're doing that. I'm pleased that, you're watching that. I'm pleased that you're following that person or doing that. There might be some out there, but in my experience, you have to question everything because you don't know what people's intentions are. You don't know where they're coming from. You don't know what's going on, what their motive is for doing what they're doing. Right, so put the next one up then and see what we think about a good role model. The Simpsons, yes, and a person in particular. Next one. Homer. Right, so this is an opposite, okay? So this is negative, right? So Homer Simpson is not a good role model. So basically, do everything the opposite to Homer Simpson, okay? Because and I mean, it's just staggering. I would think most people in here know who Homer Simpson is. It's been going for 36 seasons, has The Simpsons. There's nearly 800 episodes since 1989. It's everywhere. There's films, there's merchandise, there's theme parks. Everything is, you can't get away from it. Okay, viewing figures have declined, but I think most people know of Homer Simpson and how he just gets everything wrong, does everything badly, and seems to mess up all the time. And I think sometimes with that sub-message about this is what men do, this is what fathers are like, it kind of seeps through into society. There is a character who knows what his neighbour's called. Anyone know what their neighbour's called? Ned. Ned is a Christian, okay? Ned goes to church. Ned is very religious. Ned does everything that winds Homer up, okay? Maybe he's a bit extreme in some kind of ways. Ned might be a bit of a better example. But even so, if we look at Ephesians 5, verse 1, the best example is God, isn't it? That's the best example. Be imitators of God as dear children. Okay? So that is the best example. Whether you're Homer Simpson or you feel like a Homer Simpson. How many of you feel that sometimes you just do everything that is, oh, I've made a mistake there, and you just feel like, oh, yeah, it's one of them, and you might feel like a Homer Simpson. You might have a Homer Simpson in your household, right? Who knows? But if we, like Pastor was saying at the start, if we focus on God and do what he says. It was interesting. How many of you remember the what would Jesus do bracelet things? WWJ. Yeah? Do you remember those? Right. And actually on this CD that I've got, there's a song about that as well. It's a really good CD, I'll tell you. But I read something only this week about it, and we could get all those out again, but the problem would be is, who would know what Jesus would do? You have to know Jesus to be able to know what he would do. The only way you're going to know that is by reading the Bible, is by coming together and speaking to people, is by just coming and experiencing God. Open yourself up to the Holy Spirit to be able to do that. He is the best role model. We could go on and on, shall we? That's the last one, okay? That's five Gs. We could go on and on. But God is the best example. He is the Father who is good. And that is what I want to leave you with. There's one final thing on there. Happy Father's Day. So we're just going to pray now. And I will be here up afterwards. While we're praying, if the young people, you want the young people, yeah? The kids. So kids, if you can go out with Pastor and maybe somebody else can try and help as well. Because we've got a little gift for the fathers. Okay, the ladies group was very busy on Friday helping us out. So we're just going to say a little prayer. And then, is it me or is it really hot in here? It's hot. Would you be able to prop that door open and maybe we can get some air through here before yes. It's probably got the heating on, hasn't it? Owen, is the heating on? Oh, no. Right. Right, let's just say a little prayer then. Yeah. If you told you to come up here. Right. So we'll just bow our heads and pray. Father God, we just thank you that you are good. That you are the good